Awesome. Cool. So today we got Terence Copeland. He's a outward bound instructor. He was the trips coordinator, student trips coordinator for the adventure program here at Red Rocks. He was a Red Rocks student, works at the Trailhead Gear Shop, and has done the Colorado Trail twice, which is awesome. So cool. Terence, thanks for being here, man.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me. This is awesome. Yeah.
So just a quick intro. Who are you? What do you do?
All right, sweet. So I'm Terrence. I am currently an instructor at Colorado Outward Bound School, and this summer I was working at the Trailhead Gear Shop, and other than that, I rock climb. Some say I'm a pretty sweet hiker, and yeah, just like get into the outdoors, snowboard, do all that. Yeah.
Cool. Along the along the. So I've heard a lot about you being a pretty sick hiker.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, tell us like, man, you've done the Colorado Trail twice, which that
Yeah.
is what three? How many miles is that?
It's 486. Yeah.
Jeez. And how long did it take you to hike it both times?
So the first time, I think I was 28 days, and that's including 0 days staying in towns. And then the second time, I did it in 22 days, but I also added on like another 150 miles doing the collegiate loop.
What's the breakdown for that? Like, how many miles a day were you hiking? Uh, let's just say
Uh,
for the second route.
on average, 25, 22 miles a day. Good days, I was getting 28. The most I did was 33.
So
So
basically a marathon every day with a pack on your back, right?
pretty much, yeah.
Did you train for this? Was this like a like how do you prepare for that? That's gonna be
Um,
brutal.
so basically it's just I just went out and started like hiking, doing like 5 miles at a time. Do a little bit of running here and there. But yeah, it was basically just getting out and just hiking and doing it and using like kind of the mountains as my advantage to get the elevation, get used to the elevation gains and stuff like that. But that was basically it, and just like determination. So
Just kind of sucking it up and pushing through whenever.
pretty much like you get in
It's
this
awful.
zone. Yeah, you just get in this zone where you just zone out and you're just hiking, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, I just hiked 8 miles and it's only like 10 o'clock. So you're like, cool, let's let's keep going. So
So what initially inspired you to hike Colorado Trail the first time?
Cheryl Strayed was my inspiration. My aunt showed me the movie Wild, and it was right when my mom passed, so she thought that it would be like a good movie for me to watch and kind of get some inspiration from it. So watched that, and then it was about 4 years later when I actually did it. So the seed was planted for about 4 years, and it was kind of brewing and everything. So
So when you watched the movie, did you know like, oh yeah, I wanna be a long distance through hiker, or was it just sort of like, yeah, you watched it and then like a little while later, like, yeah, maybe that's possible someday?
yeah, I didn't know it was like a thing that people just did all the time. I thought it was just like a one-time thing where you did if something was going on in your life. So yeah, I just thought that would be cool to do, to go through this journey and just figure out about myself and stuff like that. And yeah, just kind of have that experience that Cheryl kind of had. I thought that was really interesting to me.
So in the book and the movie, she does the Pacific Crest Trail, which is
Hmm.
I think like 2,000 some miles. How did you decide on the Colorado Trail?
For my birthday that following year, my aunt gave me the guidebook to the Colorado Trail. So I had it for about 3 years, and I looked through it like once every couple months, and didn't really think I could fathom actually doing it or actually saving up the money or taking off the time from work. So
So in leading up to that first trip on the CT, like what was your prep like? Like were you nervous about, like, did you mail food to post offices like along the way? Did you do gear drops prior to the hike? Like what were the logistics of trying to get everything together?
luckily the first time, I guess you can say it was like a supported through hike. So my aunt met me at a couple towns, and then she would have my resupply waiting for me. And if she wasn't out of town, I would just go into the store and just resupply that way. But basically, I had 5 resupplies, and she was waiting in pretty much every town. So,
Nice.
mhm.
So what inspired you to do it solo? I mean, a lot of people when they first take off on a lot of these things will like grab a friend or a buddy and just say like, "Hey, let's do this thing together." Like, what inspired you to go alone?
Going alone. So I was getting right out of treatment. So I was basically wasn't around all my old friends, and I still haven't made any new connections. So I was kind of just like alone. So and I thought that it wouldn't be the same going with someone else. Like it was a journey that I needed to take for myself. So
Nice. So
mm,
tell me a little bit about that first day on the trail. What was that like?
mm. The first day is super exciting and then really bad. Um, so I was crushing it. I got like 22 miles the first day, and feeling good. And then like getting in the camp, like it hit me like a brick. Like I was so tired, like I couldn't even eat dinner that night. I was sore, like everything hurt, and it was just kind of laying there, just like, why did I decide to do this? Like this is the first day, and yeah, it was just crazy because like I did like trainings before with like that weight on and everything like that, and I thought I'd be used to it, but yeah, I just let that stoke get 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 a hold of me, and yeah, kind of beat me up the first day.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what how did you keep going the next day? Like how did you just tough it out?
So the next day you wake up, um, you're not feeling as bad. Eat breakfast, and I was just thinking like, well, if I want to leave, like I have to make it to the next segment anyways. So I have to tough this segment out anyways. And once I got hiking and moving and out there, I totally forgot about how bad I suffered the day before. And then it just kind of repeats. That's kind of just how it is every day. Then at the end of the day, you're like hurting, sore, and you're like, why am I doing this? And then the next day, you're like, hey, it's a beautiful day out. I'll just walk for a little bit, see what happens. So,
So it's literally just taking it like one day at a time, just sort of like kind of that recovery mindset of like I like whatever tomorrow looks like I'm just gonna get through today. Like
pretty
is that kind
much,
of your experience?
pretty much. And throughout the week and stuff like that, it just gets easier. And yeah, you kind of start staying more in the present and stuff like that. You're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking about like, yeah, I don't know. It's just cool how that works, where you just like narrow down like your time span of like, let's see how tomorrow works, and then you're like, oh well, let's see how the next hour feels. And yeah, so
So just taking it in little bits.
just
Um,
little bits at a time. Yeah.
so like talk to me a little bit about your mindset a couple weeks in. because it's, you know, the first one you said 28 days, so that's what, 4 weeks on the trail. Like a couple weeks in, how are you feeling about like the experience that you were having? How are you feeling about the trail in general, about backpacking, about your recovery? Like, did you, were a lot of the questions that you kind of went into that experience, were you able to answer those questions?
Yeah, a couple weeks in, your body gets adjusted to the trail and everything like that. So all those same pains and aches and stuff like that, you're like numb to it, you're used to it. So that's when like a lot of self-discovery and stuff really started happening, was a couple weeks in. You start meeting a bunch of great people on the trail, hike with them for a little bit, camp with them, and you really, for me, I really started enjoying, yeah, I started enjoying the trail. Started, yeah, just taking like all the views in, not taking any moment for granted. Yeah, happened, I would say, getting out of Leadville, starting to get into the San Juans, where it kind of just hit me, like all the emotions, everything like that, where you see a sunset and you start tearing up, and yeah, it gets good.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
And so you finished the trail 28 days, like a month in the wilderness. Like, what about your life changed after that? Or as a result of that?
So the first time I finished, I still was confused, still didn't really know what I wanted to do. And at the time I was seeing this girl, and I was still seeking happiness from something else, somebody else, and basically just got into a relationship and fell back to my old ways. And then I basically had to check myself back into rehab a couple months after I got off the trail.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And did you keep backpacking through that experience? Like, did you kind of push through and like keep seeking out outdoor adventure opportunities, or was it just kind of like a one and done thing for a while?
No, I was super lucky. The treatment center I went to, they had this like a adventure program where they would take us snowboarding or like snowshoeing or backpacking and camping. So I had the chance to still backpack, and those moments out there still, I would say those moments out there still gave me the hope and passion that I got when I first hiked the Colorado Trail.
So then how long was it in between your first experience on the CT and your second experience?
I would say it was a full year.
Yeah.
It was a full year. Yeah, it was a full year.
So it's a pretty
Well,
tight
yeah,
time period then.
11 months.
Oh, wow.
I started, yeah, like 11 months, almost a full year.
So back-to-back years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Nice.
then, yeah.
So how was that second hike different from the first?
It was more independent. I wasn't supported by my aunt this time, so I had to send out resupply boxes to the towns I was going to. I had to figure out what towns I was going to go to the store to get food, and I was more financially independent too this time.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And were you working at the time for the second?
Yeah, I was working at the mall.
Yeah.
At the Buckle, selling jeans. I was a denim specialist. Yeah, so that helped funded my second trip.
Nice. Did you quit your job to do the second time, or did you just take a month off?
So I took a month off and then decided that I didn't want to go back. That working in retail, selling jeans wasn't my passion.
And that's a decision that you came to on the trail the second time?
Yeah.
Cool. Is that when you basically decided to pursue outdoor adventure and outdoor education as a career?
Yeah, it all came from a podcast I was listening to, the Dirtbag Diaries. I was interested in pursuing a career in the outdoors, but I really only thought you could be like a park ranger.
Mm,
And then I listened to this podcast, and it was this guy that started working for the North Carolina Outward Bound School.
mm-hmm.
And his story just resonated with me. And it just, I don't know, something clicked in my brain. It was like, yeah, that's what I want to do, whatever it takes. So
So then you got off the trail after what, 22 days, I think,
yeah,
on the
22
second.
day, yeah, 22 days, and a week later, I was enrolled in Red Rocks.
Oh, nice. So you just kind of stumbled on the like outdoor education program through Red Rocks and just went for it.
Just Googled it. It was down the street from me, so I was like, all right, got to start somewhere. So
Perfect. That's cool. And how, like, tell me, let's talk a little bit about your education experience. Like, what was that experience like of going to Red Rocks and pursuing outdoor ed?
I would say I was super fortunate to stumble upon Red Rocks. Having Dr. Sally Cerencione as an instructor helped, I would say, yeah, her classes helped so much in just the confidence and yeah, yeah, just the confidence and just the knowledge and everything I learned from her classes has helped me so much in my pursuit in the outdoor industry.
Yeah. So, I mean, you had a ton of technical skills kind of going into the program. How has the program kind of rounded out other skill sets?
Um, I would say it introduced me to some other disciplines that I haven't done before, like ice climbing and stuff like that. But I would say the best thing it does, it helps you, well, at least for me, it helps me be able to facilitate whatever like discipline I'm doing. So if I'm backpacking, I can be a better facilitator. If I'm mountain biking, I can be a better facilitator. Snowboarding, I can be a better facilitator. So I would say that's the best thing that's kind of helps me
So,
with the classes.
kind of gives you the ability to, not just know how to do something, but know how to teach and develop somebody else in their pursuit of doing something, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So you're studying outdoor education. What other degrees, certifications have you gotten in the last few years?
I've gotten wilderness first responder, my avalanche area certificate, let's see, snowboard instructor, uh, leave no trace trainer, and then yeah, I think that's all I got
And
from.
you're studying for your single pitch instructor for rock climbing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Is
I took
that
my SBI course. Yeah.
nice? So
Mhm.
just a ton of certifications on top of the classes that you're already taking, right?
Yeah. So the
Nice.
surf, yeah, and then on top of that, I'll be getting a degree. So
Awesome.
yeah.
And so you, at the same time, you've been working with me also in the adventure program. Can you talk a little bit about that experience and just pretend like I'm not your employer?
Definitely. So working for the adventure program was super useful because everything that I was learning in the classes, I could practice through the program. And I could figure out what teaching styles worked best for me. I could just really refine my skills during the program, and which was super beneficial and just gives you a lot of confidence when you actually start instructing out in the field.
Nice.
So,
So what changed
mhm.
about your leadership style before you started working with the adventure program and after?
um, I'd say my style hasn't changed much. It's just what other styles I have learned that I can add to my style of teaching. So basically, whatever I feel needs to be taught or facilitated, I can kind of adapt to whatever style I need to facilitate that. So,
Nice. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility, more tools for leadership.
yeah,
Nice.
definitely.
That's awesome. So what kind of advice would you give somebody who's interested in maybe enrolling in the Red Rocks Adventure Program or becoming part of the adventure program out here?
I would say even if you don't want to have like a job in the outdoor industry, even applying for it and being a part of it, you learn, yeah, you learn other skills, you learn stuff about yourself, you learn how to be in front of people, you learn how to take responsibility and also share responsibility with others. That's super beneficial with any job that you have, but it's just really, really nice to have that hands-on experience if you are in the outdoor industry before you actually get out there.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
And so plans to continue your education, like beyond the pandemic and everything you're doing right now? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I am going to finish my degree with Red Rocks, and then I am looking at CMC because they offer a bachelor's degree. So looking into that, and then just instructing for a couple years, and then after that, thinking about returning back to school and trying to
Awesome.
get a master's.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
That sounds cool. And then ultimate career goals?
Ultimate career goals would be basically, yeah, running my own adventure program at a college.
Awesome.
Like, yeah, that would be yeah, that'd be my end goal.
Highly
Definitely.
recommend it. It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Cool. So, in between all this the education, hiking the CT, and like the journey that you've been on, you also this summer worked at the Trailhead, which has been kind of a common theme with a lot of these forums. I think everybody who's been on the forum has worked for the Trailhead at some point. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that come about?
So I was looking for a job for the summer, and I applied everywhere. King Supers, I guess I didn't qualify for King Supers. So I was just looking for jobs. I was about to start working for Amazon, and then received email that the Trailhead was hiring. So I spiced up my resume, make sure it was looking good, and I drove out there to Winter Park the next day
And
to
then
apply for the job.
did they like interview you on the spot? Was there like
Yeah, I was lucky they had time to interview me that day. So I think I just had to wait a couple hours and then had an interview that day.
that's awesome. And
Hmm.
so it's kind of a return to retail. I mean, it's a gear shop. You're not exactly selling jeans, I guess. But how has this experience been different from when you were working at the mall?
Um, because I guess you can say like I'm a gearhead. I'm kind of like a geek out on gear. So it was just super cool to be able to geek out on gear and tell other people about gear and just help them have like a fun time in the outdoors. And so working for a gear shop was, I don't know, I just feel like it was a different kind of atmosphere than working in the mall at a jean shop. So
Yeah. Do you think it was helpful to kind of see the product side, like the brand and inventory side of the outdoor industry as opposed to the gear side? Have they kind of helped both sides of your career thus far?
oh yeah, definitely. Just having a better understanding of, yeah, of like the clothing side and everything like that, and like the functions that it serves and the different functions that it serves, and then being able to yeah, just tie that in with the gear and just getting a really good foundation on yeah, just the outdoors. And I feel like it rounds you out to be a better outdoorsman when you know, yeah, the different sides. So
You talked a little bit about working with customers. What's like a typical day to day look like in that job?
working with customers, uh I would say 90% of the time it was super awesome and really fun. A lot of people that just wanted to know more about backpacking or climbing or hiking or whatever they're about to do. And yeah, it's just super fun to like geek out about gear, and they're just so interested and they're trying to take it in and asking questions. And yeah, I could do that all day. Having customers like that was a blast. And you would have your difficult customers, I mean, like wherever you work. And but that didn't deter me from like working or anything like that, because you would have one bad customer for every like 10 good customers you'd have. So it's not bad.
I would love to hear more about the other 10%, like the horror stories of customer service. Love it.
Let's see. I would say the one that stands out was, so there's a coffee shop that's attached to the trailhead. So we're not allowed to have dogs in the store because they sell food and everything like that. Understandable. So I was telling this customer that his dog couldn't be in the store. So he decided that he needed to cuss me out, and it was total BS that he couldn't have his dog in the store, and it's Winter Park, and this is Colorado. Out of all places, we should have dogs everywhere. And I'm like, sorry. And then he's like, oh, I'm not yelling at you though. And I was like, oh, well, kind of are. But and then he was like, well, can you show me these shoes? And I was like, yeah, I guess. He took his dog outside, and the whole time I was getting yelled at, I didn't even know that he didn't have a mask on. And he's also supposed to be wearing masks in the store too. So yeah, it's just dealing with customers like that where they just feel like they're entitled. And yeah, it's fun.
Imagine it teaches you a lot of patience.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good asset for a guy too.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, so you worked at Trailhead basically in between school and having a summer job, like the shutdown. So basically, you work for Outward Bound. Can you tell us about like how did you get the job with Outward Bound, and what has that been like for you?
So I got the job at Outward Bound during I found out about the position through one of my classes. We were visiting their Denver location, and we usually do like volunteer work and learn about the company and stuff like that and everything they do. And they're talking about this new kind of role that they're having, not role, like position or opportunity they're having, called the fellowship program. And it was their first year for it. So I was super interested, and the fellowship program is basically giving opportunity for BIPOC people to get hired on, even if they don't have as much experience as other people would have. So
yeah, and so you applied, they accepted you. What was that training experience like? What was it like to just kind of immerse yourself in that? And for anybody watching, Outward Bound's basically like how would you describe it? It's kind of like an outdoor adventure program where people sign up for, what is it, like a week to a month of backpacking or outdoor, rock climbing, all sorts of stuff, and then you kind of lead them through the process, right? Is that a pretty good way to describe it?
I would say, yeah, we do anywhere from 24 hours up to 72 days.
Wow.
And basically teaching them any type of outdoor activity that they sign up for, from backpacking, rock climbing, canyoneering, and then there's rafting, canoeing, and all those other ones too. And so we teach that, and also just help the students with like whatever's going on in their life, kind of help them with their next chapters are about to come, and just kind of teach them some interpersonal skills that they could help use throughout their life. So.
And how old are the participants generally?
So anywhere from 12, and then we'll have some programs we'll do veterans, and the veterans programs are anywhere from 18 to had some like 60-year-olds on the course also. So nice. Yeah, nice array of ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you applied for the fellowship and for the guide position. You got accepted and hired on. What was kind of the interview process like? What did they ask you about?
So the interview was over the phone, and along with like all the experience I had in the outdoors and education and everything like that, just wanted to know about me and kind of uh, times where I had to use my interpersonal skills and everything like that, and just um, experience with instructing adolescents and everything like that. So,
Cool. And
mhm.
so you got hired on. What was your training process like?
uh, Training process, I feel like was really, I wouldn't say it was easy, but I feel like I had a lot of confidence going into it because of Red Rocks. What we did during like our backpacking course was pretty much what training was like. And after training, we have to take an assessment. So everything from setting up a mega mid to working a whisper light to packing a backpack to making lesson plans and teaching, like everything we've done was basically what we had to do. So training was good, and we also learned more facilitating skills and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So you're
mhm.
super well prepared, for the leadership aspect, the technical stuff. What was that like? Kind of, did you know anybody going into the training program? Like, had you met anybody in Outward Bound prior to that, or you just kind of parachute in and make friends as you went?
Well, I actually met somebody before. His name was Jalen, and it was during an outdoor Afro event. We were just talking afterwards, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually working for Outward Bound this summer." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, me too." So it was good knowing one person going in there. So
Nice. And
yeah.
so from there, you pretty much worked for him all summer. What kind of trips did you lead?
I led a 24-hour course, which was just like doing high ropes, ropes initiatives, and then a 22-day course, which was alpine backpacking, um, and then a 8-day course with youth, which was alpine backpacking, and then some other like pro courses, which is either working with veterans or like professional groups. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
So what do you like about it? Like, what were your favorite parts, would you say?
I'd say what I like about it is the same experiences that I had when I was hiking the trail. I can help create those experiences for other people. And I can see, yeah, I can just see how the outdoors has this effect over people and how it can transform them and how I can use the outdoors to help this transformation. And yeah, and just working with the students and everything, that just kind of just hooks me. And yeah.
Nice. So then what would you say are some of the challenges of the job or some of the challenges that you experienced in being an instructor?
I would say the challenges change every day. You'll have little challenges, which make it fun, keep you on your toes. So either from going over a pass, and then you have to go down a scree field, and you have to keep 12 students safe, to like students getting like stomach aches, or like little things like that, to bigger things and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of challenges, but it makes the job rewarding, and it's nothing that's deterred me away from it so far. So
Yeah,
yeah.
nice. So for somebody who's trying to work for Outward Bound, particularly for people of color who are interested in working in outdoors, like what kind of advice do you have?
I would say, especially for people of color, is to just apply, especially for the fellowship program. Um, it's a great opportunity to get your foot in the door. Outward Bound will give you all the experience that you need to yeah, to continue your instructor career if that's what you want to do. Um, but the advice is also just to get out there, and the personal trips help too. If you don't have the opportunity to lead a group, like working for the adventure program, just getting out there on your own and doing whatever you can will help, because they will see that you have that passion of getting out and also the knowledge of getting out and being safe. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great advice, man. So yeah, we're about wrapped up, but I want to give you the opportunity. Is there anything, any kind of parting shots you want to get out there? Any last tidbits of wisdom?
Last tidbits of wisdom. I would say, last bit of wisdom is to, I would say, just take advantage of all the opportunities that get presented your way, because you never know what can come from them. And I'd say what helped a lot in the outdoor industry is it's a pretty small community. So knowing people and always keeping a good work ethic will go a long ways. And it's a great community. And yeah, that's all I say. It's just like, yeah, take opportunities, take chances, get out there, because yeah, people are watching and they'll notice you, and yeah, just go for it.
Right. All right. And I did have one last thing.
Okay. Okay.
I would love to hear your best, like, bad outdoor educator joke.
Best outdoor.
Like,
okay.
if you have any of your new ones. Recently.
Well, okay. I wouldn't say it's a joke. Well, it's kind of a joke, but it's something I'd say between my instructors and stuff like that when times are getting hard and stuff like that, and I'll just look at them and be like, well, every every corpse on Mount Everest was once a highly motivated person. And for some reason, it just helps that that crummy time and just laugh. But yeah, I don't know why that's so funny to me, but I like that one.
That's awesome. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Terrence, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate everything you've done for the program, for Red Rocks. It was great hanging out with you again. And
oh yeah,
yeah, really appreciate your time, dude.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be back there soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hope so.
Yeah, I miss route setting, so.
Yeah, come on. Oh man, we need it. So.
Oh yeah, but yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. Have a good one, Terrence.
You too. Yeah.